Welcome to the Eliot Hine Network
This broadcast has been brought to you by Eliot Hine TV on Ustream.
and the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Cortez.
I'm your host, Nafisa.
We are broadcasting live from Mount Frida School, Eastern High School in Washington, D.C.
Our show topic is Education is the Key to Success.
Joining us as a special guest is Eliot Hine's new principal, Ismail Vargas.
Our first segment is Born to Succeed. Principal Vargas, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me. It's an amazing experience to get to know you all.
Who were some of your role models and why?
So my first role model is my mother. My mother was a social worker, and she worked for low-income neighborhoods. She worked with families, and she worked with elderly. And since very early on, I was with my mom when she would do night activities and summer camps. So I was able to see her work with communities that needed additional help. She was a strong supporter and believer in education, so she would go as a social worker. She would go to the schools of the students of the children in her communities, and she would talk to the principals and the counselors about if children are absent, if they're not coming to school, if they're not prepared. I want to know. So she would meet with the parents and with the teachers, and I observed how she built a community of students that were achievers and that believe in themselves. Today, she has a fan club of community members that graduated high school, and some of them went to college. And they are very honored to have had my mother as a guide, as a counselor, and as a social worker. I am very honored that she taught me the importance of serving children and families in need. She taught me the importance of being a public servant, and she taught me the importance of having empathy for those who were less fortunate. So because of her, I decided that I was not going to be a social worker, but I wanted to be a teacher because I wanted to have an impact in the future of children. And I've been doing that since the age of 22. I'm 40. So I've been teaching, and I've been in education, and I've been an administrator for a long time. I believe that because of her, I am more driven to make sure that I can touch your lives, and I can make sure that when you graduate Eliot Hine, you are prepared for high school, and then when you finish high school, you're prepared to a career after high school.
In your opinion, why is it important for young adults to embrace their education?
Well, number one, education is powerful. No one will be able to take away your knowledge and your education. So in order for us to build a better future, a better society, we count on you. We see a lot of issues that are happening in our society around race, around inequities, and we count on you to empower yourself with education. You count on us to give you the services and the programs that you need to be successful, but we want to make sure that you are being prepared the way you need to so that you're successful, not for high school only, but when you graduate high school. We want to make sure that you have options. We want to make sure that when you graduate high school, you can choose if you want to go to a 4-year university, a 2-year university, you want to go into the military, you want to learn a skill to work. We want to make sure that we're empowering you to make this society better. We've seen a lot of improvement in the world that we live, but the only way that we can see a more balanced and a more equitable society if you take your education seriously and you put your heart into what you do and you make sure that you're part of a change that will make the rest of our communities and our future a better place to be.
How did you feel when you were granted with the Principal Achievement Award in Chicago Public Schools for your efforts in closing the achievement gap?
So it was a big surprise because I don't go to work expecting to be recognized or to receive anything. I just go to work and I do what I have to do to make sure that you guys are in a good place where you can be successful. So it was a big surprise. It was a big honor. I was the only principal that year in Chicago that I was able to achieve that recognition in my first year. It was a very big school that was not doing well academically, but we put some very strong systems of support for our teachers and our students, and we were able to make some amazing gains that year that put the school in one of the top performing schools in the district. So I go to work not thinking about recognition. I go to work thinking about what you need from me in order to be successful, because my success sits in your success.
You have extensive leadership experience and working within the school system. Talk to us about the power of having various goals in life.
So in life, you have to be very focused. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to distract you. Situations in the neighborhood, friends that are sometimes not being the best role models. So the only way that you are going to be able to achieve your goals is, number one, if you're focused, and number two, if you have multiple goals. It's not only about having good grades in reading and math and science. It's also about being involved in extracurricular activities such as sports, art, music, the things that you're doing right now. You need to make sure that you grow to be a well-rounded individual. And what I mean with a well-rounded individual is that you have knowledge not only about what happens in school, but you have knowledge about what happens in your community, and you can be part of that community, and you can be part of solutions. The only way that you are going to be successful is if you're very focused. When I was in college, I had in the back of my bedroom door the entire 4 years of college plan, the classes that I needed to take, during what semester, during what year, the grades that I needed to take, because I had a scholarship, so I needed to keep good grades. So I was very focused in making sure that I was passing all my classes and that I was on track to graduate. So you have to create plans. You have to think about what are the grades that you need in middle school so that you can get to that high school that you want to get. And when you get to high school, what are the grades that you need to do? What are the clubs that you need to join in order to get to the education that you want to obtain once you graduate high school? So having not just one goal is not good enough. You have to have goals for your academics. You have to have personal goals. You have to have emotional goals. You have to make sure that you are prepared to face challenges, because challenges are going to happen any day of your life. Whether you are a kid, whether you're a teenager, whether you're an adult, you are always going to be challenged. And when you have multiple goals, you are able to learn from your mistakes, from your successes, and you're able to overcome anything that comes in front of you.
If you could select one word that describes your work ethic, what would it be and why?
Students are first. Students are my priority. I always think to myself, anytime I have to make a decision, how is this good for our children? And if the conversations that the adults are having, and if the priorities that we are having have nothing to do with your success, then we're having the wrong conversation. This is the business of building futures. My job is to help you build a better future for yourself. My job is to help you dream, and not only to help you dream, but my job is to also make sure that those dreams become a reality. And I have to give you good teachers, and I have to coach your teachers to support you. And I have to be creative with programs so that you feel supported all the way through your years at Eliot. So my work ethic is just one rule. It's all about children. It's not about me. It's not about anyone else. It's about you.
What is your vision for Eliot Hine Middle School in 2016 and beyond?
So our mission is to, number one, make sure that we increase the number of students that are performing at level. A lot of our students need some extra help, and we want to make sure that your teachers are providing you the help that you need so that you can overcome any difficulty that you have in reading, math, science, social studies, and other classes. We want to make sure that this year we end up strong. We want to make sure that this year we end up strong, and we want to make sure that when you finish your school year, you have learned not just simply about reading and math, but you have learned social skills that are going to empower you to be successful in school. So I want to make sure that when you finish, you are a better person than the good person that you are today. So we want to improve your quality of life. We want to improve the way you think about life. We want to make sure that you finish school not just with good grades, but you finish school with an experience that is positive, that is going to build your self-confidence, and that is going to build you a better vision of what your future is going to look like.
Earlier this week, you conducted a meet and greet with parents at the Press Bakery and Mia's Coffee House. Why is it important to communicate your goals prior to the first day of school?
So schools are not just buildings that sit at the end of the street. Schools are buildings that serve the entire community. So we have to communicate with the principals of the schools in the neighborhood, and we have to communicate with the members of our community. So the members of our community get to know the great work that you're doing, so that you understand that you guys are successful individuals, very capable of achieving your dreams. We want to make sure that also the community is supporting you, so that we have parents and community members in the streets when there's dismissals to watch for your safety. We want to make sure that the community knows the great work that you guys are doing, such programs like the ones that you have today. We want to make sure that the parents in the community are part of your education. We want to listen to the parents of the feeder schools, of the elementary schools, because we want to know what is that we need to do at Eliot to make sure that when the students graduate elementary school, when they transition to middle school, they have the services they need in order to be successful. We also want to hear about the students. So we are going to be creating a coalition of principals, PTOs, and students, and we're going to meet on a regular basis to listen to what are your needs, what are the things that you need from us in order to be successful. So we want to give a voice not just to the community, but we also want to give a voice to the students, because as a principal, this is a job that I can't do on my own. I'm going to need your help, because sometimes you have ideas that I can't think about, and you open my ideas to in a better direction to serve you. So we want to listen to you. We want to make sure that you are part of Eliot, but you are also part of the community.
How can our existing partnership with Eastern High School help students with their upcoming career goals?
So we want to make sure that you have, besides the adults in our building, that you have role models at the high school level. There are some high school students, many of our high school students are doing an amazing job, and they could be your partners in education. I would like to see students being buddies with Eliot Hine students. I would like students to read with you. I would also like for you to get to know what is life like at the high school level. So we would like to plan visits to high school, so you see what high school students do, what is expected, their behavior in the classroom, what is their workload, so that you tune in your studying habits. So when you go to high school, it doesn't take you by surprise, because the expectations are going to be higher. And it doesn't mean that we want to make your life more difficult. It means that we believe that you can succeed, and we believe that if we give you the support you need, you will be able to be successful anywhere you go. So we want to make sure that we also work, besides with the elementary schools, that we work with Eastern, so that you have role models that are going to help you through this very difficult process that is called growing up.
Do you have any final thoughts for the students at Eliot Hine?
So I want the students at Eliot Hine to feel proud about themselves, to have a lot of pride about who they are, to understand that you guys play a vital role in our communities. You guys bring a set of fresh ideas that we want to embrace. We want to make sure that the students at Eliot Hine are learning a culture that is going to empower them to be successful, that we are well-rounded students, that we respect our differences, that we embrace our differences, that we respect the adults, not just only in the building, but we respect the adults in the community. We want to make sure that you also respect those students that are younger, because the students that are younger are looking up to you, and you are also their role models. So we want to make sure that the students at Eliot Hine are at their best behavior, and that when you guys feel that the situations are getting too difficult and you're not able to control your emotions, you need to understand that we are in the building to help you, that all you need to do is to let us know that you need a conversation, that you need support, and we'll be there to make sure that you're not only overcoming your difficulties, but that in the future you have the tools you need to be successful.
Principal Vargas, thank you for allowing the Eliot Hine Network to conduct the interview with you.
Thank you, guys. You are amazing. I'm very proud of your work, and I'm really looking forward for the first day of school and the days to come, because I want to make sure that you guys are all successful and that we can see shining stars. And I have a lot of trust and a lot of pride in what you're doing and what you're going to do this year. So thank you so much for having me.
Stay tuned, and we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Eliot Hine Network.
This broadcast has been brought to you by Eliot Hine TV on Ustream and the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Nafisa.
And I'm your host, Cortez.
We are broadcasting live from our feeder school, Eastern High School in Washington, D.C.
Our show topic is Education is the Key to Success.
Joining us as a special guest is Ms. Fernandez.
What are your expectations for Eliot Hine Middle School?
Well, the changes that I've seen so far has been really, really outstanding because I have been a resident of DC for over 30 years, and I believe it has came a long way. I like the programs that they have to offer, such as this one. This is really, really new for me because in school I always wanted to be a part of something like this, doing broadcasting, and I wasn't able to do it. So it's really great to see that you all have programs such as this to help, young kids such as yourselves to do something positive that you enjoy doing and give you a chance to give you a better outlook on, maybe whatever it is far as speaking or interviewing people. I like things like that. That's really nice. So I like those type programs and things like that. So hopefully it'll be more programs such as these that'll help, you kids and myself help the school.
How do you plan to support your child's education?
Well, so far I've been following everything that he's doing. He's into sports a lot, so I've been trying to push more for him doing his academics, and he's more into science, so I've been trying to find things that can help him broaden his horizon as far as doing science things and anything else that he may like to do. Like broadcasting was one of the first things that he asked for when he came to Eliot, so it was just really surprising for us that he wanted to come here and that you all had something like this for him to do. So if it's anything like that to help him further his education, then I hope that will help him to push towards academics, not just his sports. So I'm definitely supporting him as far as anything he needs for his education.
How do you plan? What can teachers do in order to help your child succeed?
Help him, I would say, continue to support him like you all have been doing. Anytime that he may not be, you may think he may not be doing so well or anything like that, you all just reach out to him and help him and just keep him on track and let him know that, if he needs any extra help, that the support is here to help him, and that's what the teachers are here for, is to help him, be successful in life, and especially with his education.
Eliot Hine was most recently authorized as an IB school, which is a challenging work frame that encourages students to make practical connections between their studies and the real world. In your opinion, how can an IB middle year program help your child to reach his or her career goals?
I believe IB programs will have more, opportunity. I believe they have more opportunities for you to go into different programs, and is more advanced for you to be able to do it. And a lot of you all are very advanced in the things that you do. So I think if, you all keep saying the new ideas that you all have, I think that the programs would definitely be backed by IB, or, however it goes.
Ms. Fernandez, thank you for allowing the Eliot Hine Network to conduct an interview with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate everything.
Stay tuned. We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Eliot Hine Network
Brought to you by the Eliot Hine TV on Newsstream.
and the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Kasaya.
I'm your host, Josiah.
We are broadcasting live from our feeder school, Eastern High School in Washington, D.C.
Our show topic is Education is the Key to Success.
Joining us as a special guest is Miss Young.
Good morning.
What are your expectations for Eliot Hine Middle School?
I really have high expectations for Eliot Hine Middle School. I do expect for this school year in particular to be very great and rigorous in academics, in culture, and in school-wide pride.
How do you plan to support your child's education?
I really hope to support my son in helping him achieve his year-long goals by helping him to study, by helping him to improve his test scores, also by helping him in any relationship building that needs to help with the staff, his peers, and then also his mentors. I really hope that this school year in particular is helpful in a way that he can grow and build on his career goals.
Welcome to the Eliot Hine Network
This broadcast has been brought to you by Eliot Hine TV on Ustream.
and the District Knowledge Network.
I'm your host, Jada.
And I'm your host, Cortez.
We are broadcasting live from our feeder school, Eastern High School in Washington, D.C.
Our show topic is Education is the Key to Success.
Joining us as a special guest is Miss Edward.
What are your expectations for Eliot Hine Middle School?
Oh, well, my expectations are very high. I'm hoping that majority of the kids will understand the seriousness of education. Education now has to play an important role in our younger kids of the day. There's so much things that are happening on the outside, and I hope Eliot will allow the kids to expand their education, their curiosity on what they want to do in life. So that's basically about it. Help them to find a goal, achievement, something that you want to go after real hard and be proud of your accomplishments. So that's what I hope Eliot will do for my grandson.
How do you plan to support your child's education?
As much as possible. I feel the District of Columbia had a lot of opportunities for our young kids of this world. And I'm hoping that we can get a lot of scholarships, for one, because we have a lot of single parents in the District of Columbia, and they will need a lot of help and encouragement to push their kids to extend their education further, meaning college, then their goals on further education, getting a BA, HP, and all sorts of degrees, which would be best for our kids of this world.
What can teachers do in order to help your child succeed?
Well, honestly, I think the teachers are doing a tremendous job, to be honest. A lot of the teachers do take extra step to go further. I've known that because I've raised 3 girls in the District of Columbia, and now I have 4 grandkids, 3 which are in school. I have 1 in high school, 1 in middle school, 1 in elementary. And since then, I've noticed that a lot of the teachers will call you, make personal phone calls, will inform you that your kid is messing up, not paying attention, but they have potential to go further. And a lot of times kids choose not to take that extra step to go further because they're afraid of something. And a lot of times I don't understand that part. But I do encourage back the teachers, and they will reach out to the parents. I've known that for a fact, and I'm proud of that. And as much as I can do, I will do my best and to help the teachers to accomplish their goals.
Eliot Hine was most recently authorized as an IB school, which is a challenging framework that encourages students to make a practical connections between their studies and the real world. In your opinion, how can an IB middle school year program help your child to reach his or her career goals?
So you're saying IB school is like get acquainted with the international and other countries
Yes.
Coming in, and they will teach the kids other educations that are offered in other foreign countries, so they can get acquainted with their culture, which is good. Our District of Columbia kids need to understand how blessed they are, how to cherish what they have. And a lot of countries don't offer education. And that's what I'm so proud of, is that my kids have the chance and opportunity to excel in education. So I will be most helpful and be proud of if they, since they've already been approved. So let's move forward. Let's get acquainted with our other countries. Let's reach out to them and they reach out to us, and you'll understand how they've been raised, how they live, what they have, what they don't have, and what you kids have.
Ms. Edwards, thank you for allowing the Eliot Hine Network to conduct an interview with you.
Thank you for having me.
This broadcast has been brought to you by Eliot Hine TV on Ustream,
The Digital Knowledge Network,
the Capitol Hill Community Foundation,
PepCo,
District Clothing LLC,
and I'm your host, Cortez,
and I'm your host, Jada.
on the Eliot Hine Network.
Have a great day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Ouch.